Hello, YouTube. What's going on? All right. Dustin, I am seeing audio levels, so we should be good there.
Okay.
Let's check this out. Hello, YouTube. What's going on? All right. Dustin, I am seeing audio levels, so we should be good there.
Okay.
Hello, YouTube. What's going on?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. Okay. All right, Mark. Anything else you wanted to chat about, or okay?
No, I think we're
Justin, you all good? Almost. All right. I guess we'll go ahead and we will get started.
Man, Crazy Penguin's already in chat. He's ready.
Oh, I need to redo the chat window then. I didn't see that. What's up, Crazy Penguin? Hey, there we go. Thanks for joining, man. Always good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and start the show. God, I'm all cockeyed now. If I'm dead center, I don't want my webcam to not be dead center. You know what I mean? I was hugging one side.
You got to go with the artistic feel, Scott.
There we go. Yeah, well, those Dutch angles, Dustin, you were showing me up earlier. All right. Okay, everybody, we are going to start the show in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 232 of the Classic Elite Podcast. My name is Scott. I've got Dustin with me. What's going on, man?
Same old.
Good to hear. You haven't forgot. It's been 2 weeks since we recorded. You have not forgotten how to dance. That's good. And joining us this week, we've got a very special guest. My brother Mark is joining. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming by.
Hey, thanks for having me. I do want to first say that, our mom did not force Scott to make me be on this podcast. So
That's true. That's true.
It was something that I had.
It was Dad.
It was. So thank you guys for having me on this.
Yeah, man. It's long overdue.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
So, everyone, this week we've got a lot of gaming news to talk about. We'll go through the topics pretty quickly, but there's a lot to cover since we didn't record last week. And there's also some movies to talk about. Dustin, I saw you've got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in the show notes. I saw Logan last night, finally.
Yeah.
Oh my. I can't contain myself. It was so badass. And I'll get to it in a second. So, we will be talking about a lot of video games, a lot of video game news. We've all got retro and relatively new stuff on the list. So we should have a very good episode for you. A little bit of housekeeping to get things started. I want to give a huge shout out to Sega Stuff on YouTube. His name is Brian Trusty. And Dustin, I was streaming last Friday. And Brian's in the chat and he's talking. And come to find out, he started his own podcast because he'd been listening to us since 2011, and years ago he started his own.
Dude, that's awesome.
Wow.
So we paid it forward. We started from the Retro League and listening to Tiger Claw Radio and stuff like that, and then to know that someone else back then also started was really, really a cool feeling. The more podcasts out there, the better, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
There's 7 billion people in the world, and a very, 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 very tiny part of that listens to podcasts. And that and video games are the best media possible. So, movies are close. But
Yeah.
Dustin, if you had to choose TV, movies, books, games, and podcasts, those are pretty much your digital entertainment, right? What would be the two if you can only take two to a desert island?
Books.
You could still download all games. You could still get access to all books.
Probably books and games.
Books and games?
Yeah.
I think I'd do podcasts and games.
I would definitely do books and games too. Like, I think just you have the stories, but then with games, you have that, element of, another world to get you off of. Both of them, I think, gives you another world to be a part of.
Yeah.
There's something about the passive learning, I guess. I do like to read, but there's something about podcasts. I can just consume those so much faster.
Yeah.
But anyways, shout out to Sega Stuff on YouTube. I'll definitely link his stuff below. And Brian, it was awesome to have you join the stream. So, also, Dustin, we're 7 years old, so happy birthday to us.
That's 1 year in dog years. Wait, that's reverse
we are
dog years.
official. No, yeah, we're 7 times 7, 49.
Yeah, we're 49 in dog years.
We're an old podcast now. 7 years. There's not too many that have lasted that long.
Most don't last 7 episodes.
That's true. And also, I want to make a quick PSA. I will be doing this for a long time, I believe. Make sure to use your Twitch Prime, your Amazon Prime token and subscription on your favorite content provider. If they have a Twitch channel and you can't subscribe, make sure to not waste that token. This month I did DJ Cutman.
Sweet.
For his This Week in Chiptune.
Awesome.
So.
Nice.
Also, if you're interested, you can support us on the show. I'll link Amazon affiliate links in the description of games we talk about, and also have our equipment linked if you're curious about what we use. If you'd like to use the same thing, get it through our links in Canada and US, and I guess we'll get a little commission. And if nobody clicks on it, then they'll just close our account, and you still get the podcast for free. So, well, Dustin, let's do you want to do movies first? Like, I'm really dying to talk about.
Yeah, let's do it.
Movies a little. All right. So we will get to games here in a little bit. Guardians of the Galaxy, Dustin. And again, we won't spoil anything. Don't worry.
No spoilers. People. No spoilers. Spoiler free.
No spoilers. Just
they all die.
Yeah. Well, of course.
When Rocket Raccoon sacrifices himself for Groot at the very last. No.
I called that. No.
And we get Baby Groot again. Groot's just growing Baby Groots out of his fingers by the end. It just jumps the shark that much.
So I think Guardians is my favorite MCU property at this point.
Cool.
Those two movies are that good.
I'm excited to see the second one. It doesn't sound like there's too many spoilery things to worry about. That it's just a fun movie to watch. Like,
okay, so I would suggest for anyone who wants kind of an idea of what to expect, you can go to Chris Stuckman's review. He gave it a B+, I think.
Okay.
And all of his complaints, not really complaints, all of his criticisms, I agree with. But I think I just enjoyed it more than he did.
A B+ is still...
Yeah, that's really good for him. It would be in an A territory for me. I think just because I thought it was so funny.
Awesome. I'm excited. Mark, you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2, have you?
No, I haven't. But with Kurt Russell being in it, and just I enjoyed the first one, and I expect it to just be a fun movie. I'm not expecting.
Yeah.
I never got into Guardians and Galaxy, the comics or any of that. But when I saw the movie, it was a good story. It's good action, and I really enjoyed Chris Pratt too.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's awesome.
Yeah.
Mark, my friend Casey, she says that Dustin looks like a cross between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Chris Pratt. Do you see it? I think it's...
Oh, yeah, that's fun. That's the second time I've laughed at that, because I believe that you mentioned that before, and I'm like, yeah, that's that odd.
I personally think when Avatar starts coming out in 3 years, all you'll hear is your Sam Worthington comparisons. I'm telling you. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I guess, were there lulls or anything, or did it feel like the first one just fun, just beginning to end?
It was fun and surprisingly funny. Like,
really
funny. Funnier than the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did Kurt Russell live up to your imagination as being Star-Lord's dad? I can't imagine any better casting.
Yeah.
I just hope that
job.
he's like, I just hope there's a hint of the John Carpenter era of Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Give me some Big Trouble Little China. It just, Escape from New York or whatever. That's some good stuff. So cool. So Dustin, I was talking about the 4K Blu-ray combo and how I felt like they were catering towards really niche people like me. The Logan Blu-ray, unbelievable. So it comes with the 4K version and the regular Blu-ray, which I love, so I can rip the Blu-ray because I don't have a 4K drive.
Okay.
And I'm not going to stream 4K from my PC
Right.
to a laptop anyway, so that's silly to even think about. Logan came with a noir version of the 4K and the Blu-ray, and it's black and white.
Wow.
It's just Logan with a black and white filter. And I thought, whatever. I kind of rolled my eyes. Gorgeous.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a nice little, like, hey, you're an idiot. You still buy physical Blu-rays. Here's a nice little treat for you.
Here you go, you lunatic.
It's like someone at Fox was like, I get you, man. Like, some editors like sitting there color correcting grayscale going, this is going to be worth it. Somebody.
One person somewhere.
Yes. It was such a cool surprise. And I'm like, Logan Noir. And I thought when I opened it, I thought it was the bonus features.
Okay.
It's just straight up a black and white version of the movie. And they give it to you on Blu-ray or the regular 1080p and the 4K one.
Wow.
Man.
So it was,
well done.
and Plex is the most amazing server in the, yes, well done. Plex let me rename it and it organizes correctly and I could change the poster. So at a glance, I see, like I changed all the artwork so that it's very clear that it's the color of the noir version. It was fun. And that movie is amazing.
I'm embarrassed to say that is one that has escaped my viewing, but I heard the best description I heard, which is killing me, is that it's the Wolverine that you want to see. Just by the way that as a kid you have the claws and he uses them.
And it matters. When in the Phoenix Saga, when Morph died in the comics, even though Morph was not like a hardcore old school character, but I cried in fourth grade. I cried reading that. I cried at the end of Logan.
But I read
that game, that movie. Oh, the movie. There were a couple times where I got a legit lump in my throat. I was like, I care about this. This is crazy. Patrick Stewart, incredible in it. Hugh Jackman was amazing. The actress they got to play the girl was incredible. The bad guys were believable. I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I will never watch it in color ever again. But when I let people borrow it, I'll let them watch the color version. So yeah, Mark, you seen any movies? And then Crazy Penguin's been asking some stuff in chat.
Movies lately? No, I've been actually rewatching Game of Thrones, getting ready for, the Ultimate, which I did not see the new trailer. I'm kind of like my brother. I don't like watching trailers and have it ruined. But yeah, I've just been rewatching Game of Thrones lately.
Sweet. Well, Crazy Penguin asked if we have seen the Mario Rabbids leaks. I've seen a little bit of it. Dustin, have you heard much about this?
No.
So, do you know Rabbids, the Ubisoft, like,
the minigame collection?
Their minions? Yeah, the little rabbit things or whatever. They're doing a crossover Mario and Rabbids game.
Okay.
And you can play as Mario, Luigi, Toad, or Princess Peach.
Okay.
Or you can play as Rabbids, dressed up as those four characters.
Like you do.
So, I don't know. It seems... I'm not paying much attention to it. It doesn't interest me, but... people that have had their hands on with it or at least seeing some of the more information coming out aren't hating it as much as I thought from certain people. So I don't know, maybe it'll be fun. Maybe I'll like it. But I've seen a little bit of the leaks. Crazy Penguin. He would pick books and games would be his. He says, but one question, do I have internet access and do I have money on this desert island? Yeah. It's basically like you get Netflix to whatever you need. So if it's podcasts, you can always Wi-Fi to new podcasts. You can always get the newest books. So George R. R. Martin, you can still get that.
That's never coming out.
I don't know. I just
I'm convinced.
It might not. You might be stuck forever with the show. Crazy Penguin also got a loot crate yesterday with a Rocket Raccoon and a Baby Groot.
Score.
So sounds good. And yeah, I guess let's get into some gaming news. Let's do the showstopper. The big news this week is Castlevania's Netflix trailer. Well, big for our show. This is what we really care about.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix, the trailer for the Ari Shankar involved thing that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the trailer was excellent. Did you get to watch it?
I did. The animation looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I already have a theory.
Okay.
Of course, there's a Belmont in it because he has a whip, and it's Castlevania.
Yes.
I saw a lady casting magic, and I saw a man throwing knives. So I'm thinking it's Trevor Belmont.
Oh.
So this could be pre-Simon Belmont, or what?
Yes. Yeah. My guess is it's going to take place between 2 and 3 then on the NES, right? Wouldn't that line up? Or at least pre-3?
It would be maybe pre or during 3, because it goes 3.
Because didn't
chronologically.
Oh, okay. I had that mixed up. I love that you see that and you're immediately able to pinpoint. Okay, this is.
I think.
Do you have your well actually glasses?
I don't. I need to buy those.
You need to get those. Yeah, Mark, I'm trying to get Dustin to get some black rim glasses to be like, well, actually, whenever he brings up like Castlevania stuff.
Just order something on Amazon. They're probably like a
I need
couple bucks. And just tape them.
Or next time you're at the gas station, you go in to pay.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it at the pump.
Yeah,
you just knock the frames out.
There's actually
You just knock the frames out.
I gotta say, so you may scoff at me for saying this. So I love the N64. That's my genre. That's, when I was really deep into gaming. And Castlevania 64, even though I feel like everyone hates it, I loved that game.
Awesome.
You did play that a lot.
I did. So
Awesome.
I've been actually looking for it, when it comes around. And I think it's Castle of Darkness is the second N64 one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking for both of those. And the second one is actually a lot more expensive than the original 64 one.
Yeah, because it didn't sell.
Right.
Yeah, it might run you like
bought it.
$70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game is, for an enjoyment perspective, not worth $70.
Sanely Red says, hope they do Castlevania justice, don't want sparkling vampires. Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they may do a couple of anime lens flares on the blood that's dripping.
Yeah.
It's about as close as you'll get to sparkling. The trailer looks great. Mm-hmm. And, Mark, they show a red NES card.
Oh, I watched it.
Getting plugged. Oh, okay, yeah.
Awesome.
So if you're listening, you haven't seen it. They take an old VHS filter and videotape someone putting a red cart into an NES, and then they let you scroll through NES on a tube TV or on Netflix through a tube TV, and you see like House of Cards and Kevin Spacey and stuff, and then you select Castlevania. And I don't know, Stanley Red, if you were to guess. Yay or nay? If you were to bet on it being good, I'm curious what he would think. I'm going to bet on it being good. I've liked what this has been involved in, and I like the animation in the trailer.
Yeah. First impression
What do you think?
Seems real good.
I liked how they include the NES into it, so it's a homage to, the classic. You kind of got to do that. So I bet it's going to be good. I will definitely watch it.
Yeah, that's a good nod to the fans. Yeah. Like, hey, we
get it.
Yes.
We like it too. We didn't just because Konami doesn't give a shit about this franchise. they just didn't give it away. So
it would be awesome if they.
Or maybe it was given away and just picked up by the right people.
Later, they revealed that the guy that put the cart in the NES was Hideo Kojima.
Zarek, I apologize now. He probably just had a stroke.
Still my favorite gift is when Scott's mind was blown.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was Zarek that edited that together.
That was amazing.
What'd you do? You mixed like Mario and Contra or something, and my face is...
Yeah.
You gave me some combo. It was definitely Contra and something else, I think. All right, Sanely Red thinks it'll be good. He said, I'd guess it will be good. So if we were to place the bet, even if it's just finishable.
Right.
Like, if I just want to watch every episode, that's going to be a huge win for me. I'm digging Netflix lately. I've been finding some fun stuff on there. The new Kimmy Schmidt season came out. I don't know what it is about that show. I love the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. They have Netflix has a thing now where on YouTube an ad will pop up and you can hit skip. On Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt they had a skip intro button. I will never press it on that show. I love that damn theme song. It is the catchiest. So Netflix, we are all giving it thumbs up. Next, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of commentary on this. I will do our best, but it's pretty interesting. Destiny 2 is not only coming to PC, which is cool. The weird thing is it will be exclusive to the Blizzard Battle.net launcher. So right now, I use the Battle.net launcher for Diablo and StarCraft and Hearthstone and Heroes. And those are all Blizzard games. It'll be very bizarre to see a Bungie game right next to World of Warcraft.
It worked for Steam, right?
It worked for Steam, and Activision owns Blizzard.
Yeah. Oh, I guess the question is Destiny 2 a Half-Life 2?
It may be a bit of a Trojan horse in that regard, but I'm okay with it. Yeah. I don't know. Blizzard's got enough goodwill with me, and their service works so well. I'm on board with this, and I think I'm more likely to try this game now because of that. I didn't like Destiny 1.
Yeah.
My console looks amazing. I got that white limited edition Destiny 1. It looks awesome, but I don't like the game. But I don't know, Dustin. What's your opinion on hearing that Destiny 2 is going to be a Blizzard exclusive?
Well, I mean, I can't think of a bad thing. It'll be supported.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. It will be.
They got
I don't know, Mark, you don't play any...
the servers to play it.
I never got into
That's
Destiny.
the thing. No, have you played any Blizzard games since you love Diablo 2?
Diablo 2, I mean, besides World of Warcraft 3, but yeah, Diablo 2 and World of Warcraft were my gems back in the day. But beyond that, I really haven't dove into any of that.
My friend Matt convinced me to. Oh yeah, we got wubba lubba dub dub. We got if you get a Rick and Morty reference in your chat, you've got a good chat going on. What's up, R3D? If you are, appreciate you guys hopping by. Demon Hunter,
Zarek raid,
Queen of Cards. Zarek is raiding us again. Always awesome to have Zarek's viewers coming over. Zarek, good to see you. It's going good. Everyone, this is my brother Mark.
Hey.
Say what's up to the chat, Mark. So. Yeah. Hopefully no more Air 37, Stanley Red says. Oh, that was crazy when that happened. Air 214 and Air 37. Those were the two Diablo airs when you were trying to log into Diablo 3.
I still can't believe my mom allowed me to play Diablo 2, especially with that name. And just being in a Catholic
our mom's like
household.
Hardcore Christian, yeah.
Like that was the first game I lost 2 months of my life gaming online, and here I am just casting spells, raising the dead as a necromancer, And
the computer never worked right when you were done playing that game. Drove me insane. I try to log onto AOL to flirt with girls, and shit wouldn't work, and it was because Mark was out there looting crap in Diablo 2.
yeah, I was creating a life in the Diablo dimension. I didn't have a life outside of that, so give me credit.
I was trying to have one. So, we got Fork Raid going on. Love it. Barbara, thanks for stopping by. Dappa TV. Yeah, cat raids. Gotta love it. Anybody that hasn't seen this before, go back a few episodes. Zarek's face rig cam was amazing on the podcast. It's not just good in his streams. So, Destiny 2, I agree with you, Dustin. It's all across the board probably a really good idea.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't have to give Steam a commission.
Yep.
And there's a bajillion people that have that Blizzard launcher. And it does work really well. So, and now next with Netflix, Mark, did you ever play The Witcher?
I have.
You're familiar with that game at all?
I have Witcher 2, but I just never gotten around to play it.
I think you'd like it. But we didn't get to talk about this last week. Netflix is also producing The Witcher series, but is going to be working with the books, the Polish author, not working with CD Projekt Red. So it will be more of, I think, an adaptation of the novels versus what we experienced in the game. But I've never read the Witcher books. There's something about knowing that it's native Polish and not trusting a translation. Seems weird.
I don't know. If there's a book and a game, that means that they have a lot of available content to produce a good show. So, for my baseline, from what I know about Witcher, I'm definitely going to watch it. It's going to be entertaining.
There's going to be a lot of sex. A tremendous amount of sex in it.
Just banging all the time.
All banging and affairs.
This turns out to be a soft core.
Well, the game is.
Oh, God.
At one point, I didn't even.
I haven't played it.
No. Maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
It just I don't remember if it was on a unicorn or just a stuffed horse, but just this sex scene happens. I'm just fucking on a horse. I'm like, all right, okay, game, but yet I get a bad ending because I didn't partake in a snowball fight. But I'm excited. I think the Witcher will be cool. But I am nervous about the casting. Because I have the character so ingrained in my mind. It might be jarring. Maybe not, though. Next, Xbox, their Game Pass starts today. This is their streaming service. You can get a trial if you are a Xbox Live person. And then June 1st, I think it launches for real. Dustin, the cool thing about the Game Pass with Xbox versus what PS4 PlayStation Now is, this is $10 a month, and they have 100 games that it's going to launch with. But you don't have to only stream it. You can opt for downloading the game onto the system.
That's awesome.
So if you have crappy internet, but you have, a day to download it or whatever, I'm assuming it'd work just like games with gold or PSN free games or included games.
Yeah.
But they just ping the server when you start it and say, okay, they don't have the license. And, I might, instead of doing like Redbox or something, I could see myself signing up for this for a month. If I really want to play Halo 5 or, I don't know, Sunset Overdrive or something, an older Xbox game, it might be really cool to pay $10. You get it for a month. You can play it. And if you beat it early, you can maybe move on to something until it renews or whatever. I think that's pretty cool.
Scrolling through
Or do you think you'd ever...
I was actually going to say, yeah, I just canceled my Xbox Gold because the free games that they had, which was the main reason why I had it, wasn't that good. But scrolling through some of these titles with all the, Banjo-Kazooie, love that, BioShock, the first 100 games that they have out there, I mean, I would pick up a subscription again for this.
Yeah, like why not for a month instead of like GameFly that's $12 a month or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
And if the streaming's decent, you just start playing a game. It's cool. Crazy Penguin says Netflix, My Heart, The Witcher, and Castlevania. And yeah, so Queen of Cards also says my mom had like 11 accounts full of level 99 sorcerers and Amazons. I remember coming home from school, grabbing a snack, and playing Diablo 2 with my mother for hours. That's awesome.
That is really sweet.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like hearing that stuff.
I love that game.
Hey, they'll you can get to play it again. They still are patching that game.
No kidding.
Yeah, like a year ago or so, they released a patch. They're still supporting Diablo 2.
That's amazing.
So cool.
You could probably go up to Walmart and get the battle chest right now. They still
With the strategy guide too.
Yeah. Mark, what's I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but have you heard of League of Legends and Dota, like MOBA games at all?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Those are two of the biggest games in the world. League of Legends is probably like far and away the biggest game in the world. It all started as a Warcraft 3 mod.
Really?
So I may have and they run on lower end PCs. So your laptop would make it work. I'm just saying, they're free to play. I bet you would. What I'm getting at is you would freaking love League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm.
I mean, based off of World of Warcraft 3 and, my love for Age of Empires and all those types of games, Command and Conquer, I bet I would enjoy it.
Oh, Command and Conquer. Yeah, you would absolutely love this. Queen of Cards says that Diablo 2 is full of bots now, which is a bummer. Also, I wanted to mention this real quick. Square Enix is selling IO Interactive, and unfortunately, they just laid off a bunch of people from IO. And if you're not familiar with them, they made Hitman, among some other things. But what's crazy is Hitman that just came out, that episodic thing, was really popular and really well received.
Everybody loved that thing.
Unanimously. The tutorial's amazing. But it seems like they are still going to release and press on with season 2. And then you just have to keep your fingers crossed.
Right.
Like it's kind of, I think it's already made. It'd be kind of like scrapping Star Fox 2.
Yeah.
It's done, but the 64 was right there. So, it sucks that people got laid off. It looked like that might not happen. And it would be very bizarre to have Hitman fizzle out after this success when Absolution was so crappy, and then they came out with this and it like totally turned it around. Like, how'd they get another one through after Absolution? But after an incredible crafting of it, they it doesn't have the equity, I guess, that they want. I don't know. Interesting. And then next, Mark, this one made me think of you.
Okay.
Hyperkin, the people that made the Retron 3, Retron 5, that stuff. Tomorrow they're launching an HDMI for $50, HDMI NES Mini that plays old carts.
And, reading this article, and after we talked about it, it's what I want because, I have a lot of random cartridges that, I have an NES, but it's sort of spotty when it decides to work. And having to jam the carts in there and just trying to get it to work, it's not worth the effort. But having something that is HDMI, looks great on my TV, that works well with my cartridges that I have, I'm all game. And I foresee myself getting this.
It's also the Retron 5 would read a cart, dump the information, and then use an emulator to play the game for you, and then give you an HDMI out signal. This is similar to that AVS system I was showing you. That plays. So it uses a emulation of the hardware. I think that they actually are using an FPGA. But nonetheless, it reads straight from the cart like a normal board would. And it's $50, and you don't get the super nerdy granular controls of palettes and resolution changes and sprite doubling and all this stuff. But it sounds like for $50, you get something you can stick an NES card in, and it'll give you a 720p signal. And it'll work with the old controllers. And
that's all I want,
Seems kind of cool.
So hopefully I pick that up soon and let you guys know how it works out.
Now, Dustin, I'm curious because you were tempted by the AVS.
Mm-hmm.
So is this something that is now really on your radar, or has just NES kind of cooled for you?
If it puts out a good signal and the audio sounds good, I'm down.
The audio is key. I'm excited that something like this is going to exist. I saw Gamester81 review another $50 clone console, but I didn't care for... It just looked too cheap, too shitty for me.
Yeah.
This seems like a nice step up, and if you're not a hardcore nerd, there's no reason to spend $200.
Right.
Or $500 on the Analog NT,
Yeah.
which is the most glorious NES ever made.
At the very least, the more of these that come out, the better the competition, the lower the price, the better the quality.
Yeah, maybe other people put their hat in the ring, right? And we'll just have oodles of them. Because there are millions and millions of NES carts out there. So, that's pretty cool. Okay. Next, Dumez sent this over. Vanquish. Did either of you guys ever play Vanquish?
Yes.
Back in the day?
Yes.
Is it awesome? It's a platinum game. People
It was really
love
cool.
it.
You had like a rocket suit, and you would like slide around on your knees in slow motion and shoot robots in their giant orange like weak points. And
I'm sold.
The trailer makes it look amazing.
You would like hide behind cover and smoke a cigarette to regain life.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pulling on those like 80s heartstrings, right? So it's coming to PC, which is great, tomorrow, which is May 25th. The way they announced this game was amazing. So Platinum just released Bayonetta 2 or Bayonetta 1 on PC, right? HDified, remastered, and all that. Instead of doing a big announcement, they did a really tiny patch update to Bayonetta and added in a Vanquish like playing card. And so the community found it in the menus, and that's how they confirmed that they were doing another port.
That's awesome.
So like the hardcore Platinum fans got to discover the game for themselves, and then they confirmed it publicly, which...
That's cool.
How rad. Wouldn't you love to be the Redditor? It was like, oh my god, the 4K update was a Vanquish image. I think I might get this. It looks super fun.
Yeah. I remember playing a good chunk of it.
I already had Bayonetta 1 for Wii U, but I've liked other Platinum games. They've done a lot of cool stuff. Some iffy stuff, but some really great things too. So yeah, Vanquish, check it out on PC tomorrow. And we got two quick other things. One I saw on Twitter, which I didn't see anybody pick up on this. Kotaku had a small article, but Ed McMillan, Super Meat Boy, basically said pretty soon he's announcing a new game and a new IP. And he did Super Meat Boy and Binding of Isaac, so it's exciting to hear he'll have another game to play, because those are excellent. Do you remember, Mark, when I showed you guys Super Meat Boy?
Yes, and
we
just the simplicity, and just when you died and you immediately regenerated so you could play again. I know that was the first game when I got the Xbox 360 that I downloaded and played, because I love those classic games where you could either listen to the soundtrack or listen to your own music and have a drink or two while playing it. Just brought back a lot of good old school gaming habits I loved it.
You were drinking whiskey without me when you were a kid?
Yeah, you
playing
missed
games?
that. Yeah, I got misspoke there, but
Yeah, I was just so excited to show people Super Meat Boy.
mm-hmm.
We got to talk to him and stuff, so it was just, I was fanboying out, and I brought my 360 over to my parents. I forget why everyone was in town, but we spent a couple hours. Carrie even tried playing it, and it was amazing. Our little sister started playing, and she's never played games, and you saw her get hooked.
Yes, instantly.
She started at the beginning. The game was just so brilliantly designed. Like, I love Super Meat Boy so much.
The mechanics and the way that it handles was, amazing. I love it. I still play it every once in a while, so.
Yeah, so do I. It was my test for my Steam Link. It's like, if I can stream and play Super Meat Boy accurately, then I have enough latency to deal with this. And then the last thing, this is pathetic. Stanley, you had a new game, The Binding of Meat Boy. They had that. It was Bandage Girls expansion. No, all right. I need to step up my dad joking.
I thought you were.
No. There is like extra levels that you play as Bandage Girl.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, this is hilarious. So, it looks like Hearthstone. Hearthstone has playoffs, right? For the professional prize money, you go play Hearthstone. You do big tournaments, right? They're hosting at BW3s. Any asshole can call up with their fantasy football league and reserve tables for that. So
you're going to be there?
It's not like they're shutting the restaurant down either. In the Kotaku article I'll have linked, there was someone complaining like, yeah, it sucked last time. Because it's a real restaurant still happening. So I'm imagining these like pimple-faced nerds, I know I'm one of them, but just sitting in the corner with their iPads playing Hearthstone, trying to get their Mountain Dew refilled. And just being pissed that people are watching sports at a sports bar when they're trying to play a video game.
The worst part is going to be you walk in and you say to the hostess, "I'm here for the Hearthstone playoffs," and she goes, "The what?"
Exactly.
And she's like, "Hold on, I'm going to have to talk to the manager. Give me a second."
Yeah, they won't even have like little Hearthstone flags like set up. It'll just be like, look for people not looking at the TVs. And go sit with them. Yeah. That's probably your group.
I mean, like, why this location is Buffalo Wild Wings sponsoring something? I mean, why not library?
Let's just. That makes way more sense.
Actually, yeah, it does.
Because if you it's not like the playoff contestants are going to show up and start boozing.
Right.
It's not a Hearthside gathering that like local thing you can do. It's a playoff.
You're eating hot wings in the middle of your playoffs and then touching your iPad with your disgusting hot wing fingers.
And everyone's phone is going to be connected to their free Wi-Fi. So you start getting drops. I mean,
this is the worst idea ever.
No, I picture one of the Hearthstone contestants like walking in with their like Asus gaming router. This is the 1300 megabit per second.
Any specialty case that he walks in, he's like back up.
Yeah, like a pool pro.
Yep.
He's like the version of Lucas.
Yes. So bad. Now, in full disclosure, I have an Asus gaming router, and I love Hearthstone, so I'm part of this group. It's okay.
And you have a Buffalo Wild Wings near you, so...
I do. So obviously I'm entering.
Yeah.
But, like, what if you're in the middle of, like, a really important decision, and some chick just... Or man, who's ever waiting on you is like, do you need a refill? And it's a moment, like... It's the stupidest thing. And they wonder why no one takes esports seriously.
Yeah. Because it happens in between people cheering for a UFC fight and a birthday.
Yes. It's terrible.
Oh, goodness.
Blizzard does so many good things. I guess they had to like screw something up, or maybe they give this to an intern.
Yeah.
The intern comes back. He's like, "So I got the Hearthstone playoff set up." And I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, we signed a deal with B-Dubs. Like,
Yeah.
do they hand you? Do they hand you a trivia box and a Hearthstone tablet and you're like, pick your game? Silly. So, all right. Well, that's news for the week. So let's get to our YouTube channel of the week. Dustin.
Channel of the week. Week.
Week.
We're gonna go. Oh, I know exactly who we're going with. Bennett the Sage. He does Anime Abandon, and a couple of weeks ago he did his first. Well, he did Armitage 3, the movie, and it was his first video of Cyberpunk Month. So he's a man after my own heart.
Naturally, you got excited. Yeah.
I was like, this. Yeah, you got a spot. Well done. He's put a second one out since then. I don't remember which one it was, but it doesn't matter. Go watch all of them. Cyberpunk Month.
Armitage 3. Is this an anime?
It is. It's a sequel. Okay, so the one before this, actually,
It's got to be complicated if it's Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But even more so, like in real life, this is a sequel to an Armitage movie that had Kiefer Sutherland and Elizabeth Berkley doing voices for it. And then in the sequel, Juliette Lewis did the voice of Armitage, or whatever the lady's name is.
Really?
But she's terrible at it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mark, Two Fat Potatoes says that you're going to be the first person enslaved by the cat army. Our buddy Zarek is he wields a hefty stick as the cat priest on high.
I hope that's a good.
But Dustin, you're good because your mustache is.
Dustin, I like your mustache, so you'll be okay. That's great.
Cool. Yeah, Bennett the Sage. That's so. When you said it's his first video, it's just the first video of the Cyberpunk month, right? It's
Correct.
not.
Yeah, he's well established. He's
okay.
I don't know if he still does, but he was Channel Awesome, that guy with the glasses. That's where I first saw him.
Oh, really? Part of that? Okay. Which I just started following Malcolm Ray on Twitter from our account.
Okay.
The black guy from Channel Awesome. Dude just cracks me up. I hope he gets a big break. I think he could be an absolute star. He's a really, really, really good actor, I think. On his like personal channel, he'll do Morgan Freeman readings that are like gut-bustingly awesome. And yeah, he's great. So that guy with the glasses, his tentacles are like everywhere.
Yes.
Of like big YouTubers, even like the Amazing Atheist. Like, he was a big channel? That's where he got his start. Gerard the Completionist. Like, I didn't know all these people got their start over there. Like, a shitload of people did.
I watched a Rob Scallon video. That guy who does like metal songs on banjos and stuff.
Yeah.
And that guy with the glasses was in it. I'm like, what the hell? This guy is everywhere.
He is. And man, I Doug's also somebody I hope gets a big break. They're low budget, but so clever. Their scripts are amazing. I don't know how they bust out the jokes and scripts that they do. And bringing it back to Chris Stuckman, if you haven't watched Channel Awesome review Rogue One with Chris Stuckman, you're missing out. You have a whole amazing review to go watch. So Bennett the Sage, definitely go check that out, and specifically Armitage 3. Because it's Cyberpunk month.
That's right.
And if you're not familiar, we do Cyberpunk Saturdays here. We are big Cyberpunk fans. Well, you're warming me up, Dustin.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear like a nice crunch synth, I'm immediately like, I think of you immediately. And this week's song, the outro music is, I picked the track on the EP because it has a cyberpunk synth to start. And I'm like, well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one we're obviously going with. It's a great. Every track is great. It's not my favorite one, but it's awesome. But because it has the synth at the beginning, I'm like, that's obviously the pick.
Sweet.
One of the bonus songs, Mark, sounds like DJ Shadow got in a chiptune.
Yeah.
I'll send you the MP3.
Oh, I love old DJ Shadow.
And that's it sounds like RJD2 starts it off.
Whew.
And then like the percussion fill. I'm telling you, it sounds like the track 1 off of that album he got in all that trouble for all the samples.
Oh,
Dead Ringer.
Yes.
Sounds like track 1 off Dead Ringer. So
Amazing album.
Def Jukes. So cool. Go check out Bennett Sage. So let's get into games that we've been playing. Mark, you've got a bunch here. So Dustin, let's talk about what you've been doing.
All right. So I finished Remember Me, and I wish I could forget it.
Ooh.
That game never ends. It just keeps going.
Would it have been better if it would have ended a little sooner?
Absolutely.
You'd been good, all right, that's a decent story. Glad I played it, ready to move on, but just kind of.
If it had 5 fewer hours of fighting in it.
Oh damn!
It was. Oh my gosh.
Mark, you'd especially hate it. I got Mark one of the Batman games. I think Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, and he hated it.
Oh man.
So this is a bad combat version of that game.
Imagine that, but really bad. and it never stops.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll never pick up that title, even if it's $2.
Aesthetically, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh man, the art direction is fantastic. The city looks great. The story's pretty cool. Man, every good thing gets put on the back burner, and it's just all bad fighting all the time for a million years. It's so bad you play it for hours and you stop doing commentary because you have nothing else to say.
It's too bad that they didn't have it really pared down like Captain America, where it was just clearly a ripoff.
Yeah.
Remember Me Not. Saintly Red is a man of your own heart, Dustin. You got puns racking there. Good deal. Well, you did move on to some good stuff, though.
I did. Okay, so occasionally this happens. Okay, well, I'm going to back up a little bit. So, yeah, this is really tense.
It's a horrible reverse noise. I need to be like, beep, beep. Sorry.
Don't you have buttons queued up for all this stuff?
Yeah, oh my God. My dream is to actually have a soundboard.
That would be awesome.
That would be sweet.
There's digital ones I can do, but Windows is not set up to handle a lot of audio inputs and recording stuff. So I would need a physical button and add that mixer in through Skype, and it would pipe through correctly, almost as if it was another call.
That sounds easy enough. You should have that done next show.
Yeah, a couple $100 though. All right, it is possible, but that's my dream. Okay, sorry, Dustin.
Okay, so
Got to rip.
I was thinking the other day, and I used to think I knew a lot about video games until I got bored, had a lot of time, and got on the internet and realized there was a whole bunch of crap I never heard of. And I was thinking it was like if you had a really awesome house as a kid and you went back to that house and you found a secret passage and there was an entire wing of your house you never even knew of. That's what it felt like to learn about all these different, the Turbo Duo.
Hell yeah.
And the Master System and all these awesome games.
Okay, so I thought this happened last weekend.
It's still
You're talking 10 years ago.
Yes, but
It's just still happening.
it still happens today because
Okay.
today, or not today, but recently I found out about a Sega Dreamcast game I had never heard of. A guy on YouTube who the channel is Dreamcast Guy, appropriately. His favorite Dreamcast game was called Record. It's from an anime called Record of Lodoss War.
Never heard of
Me
this.
either. And it's a really competent Diablo ripoff for your Dreamcast.
Really?
Yeah. It's really good.
Wow.
I remember people liking Diablo 1 on PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would imagine this to take that next leap because the Dreamcast was so much prettier than the PS1.
Mm-hmm.
And the menus are like easy to navigate, and yeah.
I wonder if some ex-Blizzard guys were involved in that. Because Blizzard people tend to split off and make awesome versions of that. Like Torchlight.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is like proto Torchlight.
I want to say the guy that wrote The Martian, that was his first book after leaving Blizzard. He used to write stories for Blizzard.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, I found...
Ridley Scott's like, hey, first book? Yeah, let's make a movie about that.
Okay.
All right. Which I still haven't seen... The Martian yet. I think Ridley Scott did that. Isn't that a Ridley Scott movie? I'm almost positive it is.
It's science fiction. It takes place in space. So
it could, yeah. Oh, I love that idea of Matt Damon being like Ridley's off doing her own thing, or Ripley's off doing her own thing against xenomorphs, and Matt Damon somewhere just like trying to grow shit on Mars. It's just okay. All right, so Record of Lotus, like when you say that it's a like a Diablo ripoff, like how do the controls work and whatnot with the Dreamcast controller?
So you have the analog stick up in the top left that controls you.
Yeah.
You attack by hitting one of the face buttons. I think it's the X button. And if you're surrounded, you can hold down the right trigger and hit the X button, and it will hit the closest enemy to you.
Okay. Does the VMU have your health or mana?
Ooh, I don't know. Oh, that was another thing.
That'd be amazing.
I ran out of space on my first VMU, so I pulled the tab on a VMU, like brand new, and I went through setting that up. Brand new VMU setup. Excuse me. Have another one. We'll do it live.
So you just have unopened, fresh, new old stock of Dreamcast VMUs?
Yeah, I pulled them out of the.
Oh yeah.
As one does.
I pulled one out. I pulled them out of the boxes and just sat them aside. But they still have the plastic tab in between the batteries, so they don't drain.
Yeah. That's rad.
Yeah.
So I guess how far did you get? Is there a leveling system? Is there like X amount of bosses?
Full on leveling system.
Obviously there is.
Bosses. Your equipment is visible, so the cooler your equipment you equip, the better you look. Right now I'm rocking a sword and shield, but you can do like two-handed stuff. You can be a sorcerer, all kinds of stuff.
Do you pick classes in the beginning? Like you would in like a Diablo game, or do you just have a single character?
Not really, because it starts with it's a single character. Because I think it ties into the anime, so that I think they make him somebody maybe you would know if you were familiar with the manga, the anime.
Cool. You know, I remember watching a lot. I never thought of it as anime, but I remembered that specific art style quite a bit. But I've never been able to really get into it since then. There's got to be a few. It's so popular. I know I'm missing something.
I love Cowboy
right?
Bebop.
Yeah,
that's a real popular
one. That's a really
one.
good one.
Yeah, I need to give. I'm going to an anime convention next weekend.
Okay, so you'll actually recognize the people that people are cosplaying as if you start watching.
If I can get a Record of Lotus War, I will.
That would be awesome.
I'll probably drive to Tennessee to show you the picture myself. I won't even text it to you. I'll just leave the con and just start driving.
Okay, so Cowboy Bebop. I would also recommend Trigun. It's a little goofier. And I like Gungrave.
I think I would like One Punch, right? Is that?
Never seen
it. Mike T recommended that from the Cartoon Retro Cast. And Attack on Titan's so big. I'd probably like that one.
Maybe. I haven't seen that one either.
I'm most familiar with that one because a few years ago when I started going to cons every now and again, that was the biggest. So I am familiar with a lot of the characters from that just from seeing people cosplay as it. Sweet. And the next, I just got to comment the next game. I loved the video, the way you did that video.
Yeah. Sweet. I noticed when Good.
I was going to say the sync was off a little bit on your webcam.
Yeah. So when I was speaking on the webcam, my sync was off, but when I was playing the game, my sync was on.
And you can tell that it's, you did that early in the day because the lighting was so like crisp because you had real sunlight coming in. It looked really good. I was excited because I won't do that. I'm not putting my face while I'm playing games. I'm too animated anyways.
Yeah.
But when you did it, I was like, oh, hell yeah, that looks really, really good.
I think I'm the exact opposite. If I was playing a game, it would just be an hour of me staring at a screen like an idiot with my mouth open. When I wasn't talking, at least.
It does make it tough for me to find a screen grab sometimes for our thumbnail. Because I want us both smiling.
Yeah.
But you're so deadpan all the time. But so I'm sorry. I assumed everyone knew what I was talking about. So what were you playing that I thought looked great?
So we did our second video in our celebrating 10 years of Happy Video Game Nerd, and I did Wild Guns Reloaded on the PS4. And this is a remake with some added features of the Super Nintendo game that he maybe single-handedly popularized. Like, I didn't hear about it until he did the video.
I would have to say absolutely. Yeah, I've never. Yeah, he was the first one I saw.
If you track the Wild Guns virus backwards, he's like patient.
He's patient zero. Yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah, I own the cart.
That was back when there were hidden gems, Dustin.
Yeah, right. Because I found this in a used game store somewhere for $30, I think.
God. He has the magic touch. This game's hundreds of dollars now.
I've never heard of this game, and I'm just like looking up like the images like as you're like speaking. I'm like, this looks so awesome. Like, why don't I have this? I mean, the graphics, the style, like it looks amazing.
The PS4
version I'll
is
just
still
send
only
you
like $30.
His video. Yeah.
Wow.
I'll send you the link of the video.
Yeah.
Because he does it's cheesy, but he does a great job of explaining why the game's fun. I mean, it's YouTube 7 years ago or 8 years ago or whatever. Like, set your expectations appropriately. His videos are much better now.
I didn't realize it until recently, but some of his videos, he's pointing a camera at the screen. Just pointing at the TV. He didn't even have a capture card.
All of my first reviews are like that. The very first one, my Castlevania Lords of Shadow review. It was me with a tripod and a handy cam. And I spent hours like kind of cropping it to try to...
I would love to see the behind the scenes footage of Scott setting that up.
I've got a video of Plants vs. Zombies, which has over 500,000 views. I filmed that in my closet, and the way I set it up was I took a cardboard box and I cut a hole out of the top of it and rested my handy cam on the box and then slid my hands under the box and just tried to play through the reticle to keep it in frame. It's so embarrassing that so many people have watched that video. It has a lot of dislikes, deservingly so.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, it's paid for our domain for a few years, so whatever.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Worth it, right? Does Wild Guns Reloaded have the original to unlock? Do you know?
Not really. It kind of is the original. It has like old school graphics and music that you can not graphics, but old school music that you can unlock.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah, but for people who don't know, it's kind of a behind the back third-person shooter, but you can only strafe. And your reticle and your movement are tied to the same stick because it was originally released on the SNES.
Yeah. And it the bullets are slow that are coming at you.
Yeah.
And you can shoot the bullets, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you have a meter at the bottom where if you risk it and shoot the bullets, that will eventually fill up, and you'll get this awesome Vulcan cannon thing that kills stuff real fast, and you're invulnerable for like 30 seconds while that meteor comes back down. But it's...
So there's a good risk reward there of whether to shoot and fill up the meter or...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's imagine
a world
in a world.
That was really good.
Thank you. That's it's my side job. So
we should totally rip off Honest Trailers. We'll actually, okay, sorry.
It looks like a platformer, but it plays like a shoot 'em up.
Yeah, it looks like a light, and it kind of really does look like a light gun game without the light gun mechanic from a perspective, I think.
Yeah.
You're still over the shoulder, but yeah. Do you know the bonus stage in Sunset Riders on the arcade of the Super Nintendo version? How the faces pop up? It reminds me of that in a way, as far as like controlling a reticle with your D-pad.
Yeah. But this game, it's surprising. Like, it feels so rewarding to do well because it does not let you succeed easily.
Awesome.
Yeah, just like when you get into a flow and you're like shooting bullets out of the air, and you're like, I have to unfocus my eyes. I can't look at any one thing because there's so much going on at any given time, and you're like taking care of all these enemies while the clock is running down. And when the clock runs down, that's when a mini boss usually pops out. So you're trying to hold on, the mini boss pops out, and you have a lasso. So if you tap the firing button, you can use a lasso, and it will slow down the enemy. So the mini boss pops out, and you have to time it just right, and you can slow down the mini boss and like totally wreck him before he gets an opportunity to attack you. So you get this really cool flow going. And
but that's satisfying.
Yeah,
like when you rope them and then you just like
shoot them right in the face.
Yeah, yes.
And you're waiting for that to happen, for that to be able to pull off that combo.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just do that, right?
And it's totally old school. Like as you shoot the bad guys and they lose health, they start blinking orange, and the more it goes down, the faster it blinks until they're just orange. And oh man, yeah,
the old Turtles indication.
Yeah, it's not free to download, but it's available to download on PS4. You can buy the physical copy if you're a hardcore collector.
Nice. Cool.
I totally recommend it. Really good.
I've never played it. Well, other than an emulator. Hopefully this will come to PS4. The PSN, maybe it'll be one of those included games.
The PS Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Fingers crossed. So, all right. Well, Mark, what have you been playing, man?
Oh man, I've been waiting to talk about this game. So as I mentioned, love old school N64 games. And one of the games that I've been wanting to play ever since I briefly played it when I was a kid was Body Harvest. Body Harvest is one of those... It's such a different N64 game because you are this guy that has to kill these bugs that come to Earth every 25 years to harvest bodies. And the whole goal is to destroy these giant insects. And it's so awesome. I mean, from the different worlds to the vehicles, it's like an open world. And kind of a fun fact, DMA, who later became Rockstar North, the creators of GTA 3, actually... those developers were involved. So in a way, if this game, succeeded, people may have not gotten Grand Theft Auto 3 because it's an open world. You can jump in a lot of different vehicles. And so I've been playing that, and, each level, it takes place in a different year. So the first you play in like Greece in 1916, and Serbia, United States, and it is. I love it. And I'm glad that I could, replay it as an adult.
Where'd you find your copy?
Oh, I had to get it on like Amazon, and I saw that and immediately like swiped it up. The only problem is it's so difficult because not because of like the gameplay necessarily, but it's so, no pun intended, but it's so buggy. And the save points are horrendous. Like if you go over a cliff the wrong way, you're just SOL. You're just like stuck there. It's not like you fall in the water and you automatically die, but you just can't move, so you just have to kill yourself. And that 45 minutes of gameplay that you were making a lot of progress and you just took one wrong turn off a cliff, just destroys everything and you start back from the beginning. Such a nightmare. But they do a really good job with the weapons. There's a deep story, but N64 was going to have it as like a launch title, but of course the heads got involved. They thought it was too violent, and it took a while for it to come out, and it came out in '98. But if you like those old school games, it's like one of the, I could be misstating this, but one of the first open world games that you can like go indoors while riding any vehicles. As a kid, my mind was blown.
It's got to be one of the first. I mean, this was a 64 release.
Yes.
There wasn't a lot of, there was like Ocarina of Time would be the other open world game I could think of.
And that's how this was. And, all of a sudden a harvest bug thing would start to appear. So you got to drop what you're doing, rush across the world to destroy the harvester bug, to destroy all the others. And then just when I thought the game couldn't get any better, they had zombies in it. And I love zombies. And you get in this like, one of those like corn harvesting machines, and that's the only device that can destroy this mass horde of zombies. So you just like rip through them. I mean, it just has like a lot of awesome gems in it. So
I love that you hop on a combine in a 64 game to take out alien zombies or whatever.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Cool.
So that's the main game I've been playing recently. Still haven't beaten it yet.
Is that all you wanted to talk about?
Oh, the next thing is Smash TV, the arcade game. So I am blessed that right next to where I work is a free arcade bar that has all the arcade games that a lot of the good gems with a lot of emulators. And my buddy and I, we've never heard of Smash TV before. And immediately were addicted to it. For those who haven't played it, it is an old school kind of 80s game, top down, where it's Running Man and you're just taken into a room and you just get hordes of different enemies coming at you and you just got to blast them all the way. And you get power-ups and it has the cheesy 80s girls, and you win free toasters and riding lawnmowers. So, and
it controls like Robotron or Geometry Wars. Like it's like a dual stick shooter.
And my buddy and I, we played enough that we worked together and got him the high score, and we're still the high score at the bar.
Right on.
22 million, I think it is. So
the NES port is actually pretty good.
No kidding.
Yeah, I've got it. Next time you're in town.
Yeah, I would love to
bust out some Smash TV.
Yeah, I would love to play that.
Yeah. It's not as good as it's a NES port, so. And it doesn't have the dual, you have to use the D-pad, and then the A button will let you shoot freely, and then pressing B will let you strafe and lock to a direction.
Oh.
So.
No, I'd love to play that.
Cool. That's sweet that Jeremy.
Yeah.
Like, of all your friends, have Jeremy be the one that has the high score. If you guys knew... He's like the happiest, most jovial dude in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, having him have the highest score, he's just walking around like, I'm the shit. Like, I got Smash TV.
Pretty much.
22 million.
Well, it was great because, we got to a point where we knew we wanted the high score, and that's what we set out to. One of us was going to get it. So we knew at one point, whoever had the highest score at that point would start, because we knew the bonus round was coming soon, that the other person would back away and the person would just like collect everything and take all the shots at the boss, and we just destroyed the other dude. I just wish I knew who that was, and for the first time for him looking up being like, oh. So
damn. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and Jeremy's a little younger too, so these are guys in the early 30s, late 20s playing. I didn't hear about Smash TV until college, so I don't think it was wildly popular, but the people that like it really like it a lot.
It was great. So you want to talk about our sibling rivalry, and
it's only a rivalry if it's competitive anymore. You've been just destroying me.
It is, as a little brother who used to get picked on, even though Scott has a different story. To actually,
I picked. It was just we can have a different.
Yeah, we'll have a side chat on that. But it's so rewarding for me, and he's gonna hate me. But just playing these games and have it recorded, Roger Clemens MVP baseball and Madden 99, the last 3 games we recorded, I came out on top, and it is, as a little brother,
that like never happened in our lives.
Or Scott would just reset the game.
Hey, I might have done that once. I usually won.
You did.
But there's no evidence of that. There's only evidence of you winning. Hey, I had to hit publish.
Yeah.
If I was that mad, I just would have been an asshole.
But I gotta say, it's been a lot of fun, recapturing and playing those games with Scott, older. We'll just have like a few beers and just play this game during the day, and it's fun. And remembering all the little tricks associated with these games has just been fantastic. And it's surprising.
Yeah, you get a lot of I forgot about little nuances of the game. Manipulating AI characters or particular things that would work really well.
Dustin, have you ever played any like Madden 92 or Roger Clemens for Sega?
Mm-mm.
Those were the only sports games I was good at.
You don't even need to be into sports to like them. It's like Rocket League or whatever, or FIFA. It's just they're just fun.
That was back when sports games only kind of resembled the sport that they were.
Yeah, so you get to use your imagination a lot. Yeah, it's cool. But I've really enjoyed going back and replaying those games, and I don't think it's strictly because of the nostalgia. If they would have, we wouldn't. If they weren't still fun, we would stop after a couple innings or wouldn't play 2 matches of Madden or whatever.
And when we played these games, we wanted to make it fair. Since we both haven't played them for a while, we implemented the odd job rule, aka with Madden 92, you couldn't be Barry Sanders because he could just run to the right and you couldn't catch him. It was impossible. So we did, random teams, and it was a lot of fun.
True story.
That's pretty much.
Yeah, it's your section. You got to roll.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm new to this.
Either I'm out or.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I talked about the main ones that I wanted to get into.
You did have Zelda Ocarina of Time on the list, and you also have here who could beat it first. And you have in here that you think that you did because someone else erased your game.
I think that was true.
It was Zelda Majora's Mask that happened to me. And it was Katie.
Ooh, Katie. We won't use last names, but yes.
This girl was
Holmes.
like child or what?
Holmes.
See, boobs. Oh, Holmes.
Oh.
No.
Katie Holmes.
Even though she's from Toledo, my buddy's older brother in college dated her, took her to prom and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but anyways, problem child. That's what I'm thinking of. This girl legitimately was problem child. She is the most crazy child I had ever seen in my life, and so to this day. She's all mild mannered and sweet now, but like as a kid,
She was a
after
tornado.
this incident, she broke a bunch of Mark's like
Lego
D&D
castle
rock,
thing,
yeah, Lego castle or something, and she erased my save state or my save game on Majora's Mask. And I was at the final boss. I would have beaten Mark to the punch. She erased it, and I have never went back, and he finished the game. But we were right at the final boss when you're taking the Skull Kid on right by the moon and all that. I was right there.
Yeah. I just remember, like, you could just hear Scott's heart break and, like, the fury, like, rising in him because he spent so much time into that game. And he's like, I can't go back. Like, the momentum.
And there was the competitive spirit of, well, Mark's going to beat it first now. Damn it. Stanley Red says that he's like, my bro always played Odd Job. That was the worst. Yeah, it was. Mark and I would have to make these rules of, like, if we would have been really into Street Fighter 2, we'd have been like, no throwing. Automatic disqualify if you throw.
Yep.
Because it takes like half your life. It's ridiculous. So, cool. I did want to give a quick recap. I played my first D&D campaign. It was fun. They said I did very well for a first-time player. They were like, if we wouldn't have known, then we wouldn't have thought you were a first-time player. I was like, all right, cool. For me, like fantasy stuff like that, I only tend to consume in movies and video games where they hold my hand through the story. Whereas when you read books, like you're filling in all the gaps and you're imagining the world and all that kind of stuff. And that's intimidating when the people I was playing with were very good and they'd played D&D type games before. But yeah, we played 13th Age. My Kung Fu Monk was fun.
That's badass.
And I really enjoyed it. So they invited me back, and I'll be playing. And then on the cliffhanger, I gotta keep playing. Mm-hmm. Now I see why people are like, "Yeah, we've been 10 years in this campaign." I'm like, I get it now. Like I see how this could totally happen like that. But it was cool. Also, I wanted to talk briefly about the OSSC, the Open Source Scan Converter. I did do a stream. I'll put a link in the description. I started playing Castlevania Bloodlines, and that game's on the Sega Genesis, and it's amazing. And the scan converter allows my capture card and televisions to take the HD Retrovision cables and make it all look good and work together as a condensed version. Well, I got a game over on Castlevania Bloodlines in like half hour, 40 minutes, something like that. So it's like, I'll play a little Gunstar Heroes. It's a fast game. It's different. 2 hours later, I'm still playing and beat the game.
That's awesome.
Whoa.
I couldn't stop playing. And I've never beat that game before. So an hour into my Gunstar Heroes playthrough, I'm talking about how I'm at the final boss. I'm at the end of the game. So there's an hour of me thinking I'm right at the end. And what's hilarious is the game, they call things the final battle, the final whatever, like 10 times in a row. So they troll you on that too. So not only did I assume that I was done with the game, but they were aware that it was a longer game. Only made it for one sitting. And after I beat what I thought was the final boss, sure enough, it turns into a shoot-'em-up game. Had no idea that existed in Gunstar Heroes. Then there's boss rushes. I thought I loved Gunstar Heroes before. I had no idea how amazing the game truly is. It might be my favorite Sega Genesis game. Like, it's unbelievable
No
how good the game is. It's phenomenal. And you can get it a lot of places. You can get it on the 360. You can get it on the 3DS. And the 3DS version has the slider, so you can play it in 3D. And you save states and stuff. Would you have a physical copy of it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, not the Genesis one. Like, was there a physical... When I said 360, you turned around.
Oh, no. Just
I'm like, was there...
I just had the Sega card. I couldn't remember if I had it complete or just the card. It's just the card.
I've got a complete in box.
Ooh, all right.
Ooh.
And I feel incredibly lucky that I have that. I remember I paid $18 for it.
Wow.
Score.
And I was thinking, this is one of the most valuable Genesis games. Genesis will never get expensive, but screw it. And I'm really glad I did, because it costs more than that now. Color manual. It's the first game. It's either the first game by Treasure or it's their first Genesis game. But it might have been their first game.
It looks gorgeous. I haven't played it yet, but man, that looks like a lot of fun.
It's outrageously fun. The weapons stack on each other. So you have 4 different weapons. One's a laser, one's fire, one's a machine gun, and one's like a heat seeker. And you pick them up, enemies drop guns. So you can combo them where you can have a heat seeker and a laser, or the fire and the machine gun, or you can have double fire or double heat seeker or whatever. And depending on what level of the stage I was in, different weapon combinations worked better. And it just, the game's, and it's so satisfying. You feel so powerful. There's a million sprites on the screen, and you're shooting them all, and
that's 2-player co-op.
It's wonderful. It does have 2-player co-op.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is also amazing. I've not done that, but Mark, we can.
Yeah.
When you're in town, we have a laundry list of games to play.
Sounds awesome.
I know you're not bummed about. But yeah, so I played that. Also, I played Castlevania or Contra 3, Alien Wars. I did not keep that archive up. I didn't like the way the video turned out. I didn't have my settings correct.
Okay. But
I'll be streaming that again. Contra 3, Alien Wars. Just wanted to mention, it's amazing.
That game was so good.
It's so unbelievably good. It's amazing, and it's one of those games where it feels impossible. You get a game over immediately, and then you start the stage over, and you get right to the point you died, and you haven't even died yet.
Yeah.
You just learn. You just get better because you get better. It's leveling up in real life to play the game.
So, what is your favorite?
You just have to get better at it. Well, the first one.
Is that first one, like, hands down?
Not even thinking. Yeah. But I don't necessarily know if it's objectively the best one. It's just, like, far and away my favorite.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then also, I'll mention really quickly, Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheel Tracks is unbelievable. The expansions, I love playing it. I absolutely adore it. Playing, like, racing as, like, a Ferrari on a Hot Wheels track is so satisfying. And it feels so fast and silly. And you see a giant loop-de-loop coming. It's amazing. I'm a sucker for Hot Wheels stuff now, apparently.
Cool.
And also, the last thing I wanted to mention, Mark and I did play some Snipper Clips in the wee hours of the morning. And I will say, Snipper Clips is probably amazing if your brother's not a dickhead troll. It's probably awesome. I wouldn't know. What are you talking about? Yeah. I was getting so frustrated. It's like 3 a.m. and he's just giggling.
No, I was trying to work towards our common goal, and I thought I'd have a little fun, and Scott was taking it the wrong way and was getting frustrated. And
that's a lot. That's impossible for you to do. That's a contradictory statement. So, but that was a lot of fun. Snipper Clips is really a neat game. It's perfect for the Switch. So yeah, let's get to our YouTube comments and fan mail, and we will be done for the week.
All right.
Dustin, I'm gonna call not it on Kevin.
Okay.
Because there's a lot there.
There is.
Which is good, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's awesome. We love it. We love you.
We do.
All right, you want me to start?
Canadian correspondent.
Yeah, of course. You want me to hit that up, or you want to go comments first?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do Kevin. Because he got some... He's got some questions and stuff.
All right. Our Canadian correspondent, Kevin, sends us an email, and he says, wow, oh, wow, 7 years. Oddly enough, your anniversary is my wedding anniversary. So that'll make things easier for me to remember for both parties.
Kevin, we can be your reminder.
That's right.
If I start talking about an anniversary for the show, you'll know, I got a month to buy the wifey something.
Just think, Scott, we met because we both started a podcast at the same time. I don't even remember how I found you, but I'm glad I did. But I did, and I'm glad I did. Feels like aroma ago, though. What? Feels like forever ago? Autocorrect, maybe?
Autocorrect. Yeah. That's totally autocorrect.
Now look at you guys on YouTube, videos, getting free shit, etc. Guys. Anywho, I repurchased the Kingdom Hearts collections on the PS4 because I'm a fucking idiot. I originally repurchased them for the PS3 when they were first...
Hold on. I gotta cut in, Mark. Every third email Kevin writes us is about him being an idiot for rebuying games.
Really?
And all I can say is I understand. Me too. Like,
that's funny.
So funny. Love you, Kevin. I've got the same problem.
I originally repurchased them for the PS3 when they were first released as A, I love the series, from PS2 to PS3 was a big difference. And B, I didn't think they were going to re-release it on the PS4. Then they did. I actually repurchased it and trade the other two, so I got the game for $20 because of remote play on the Vita. This way...
I love that feature.
This way, the wife can watch my 600-pound life, and I can help Mickey save Kingdom Hearts. Or destroy it. The game is confusing. To play Kingdom Hearts before this collection, you would have needed the following consoles. PS2 for Kingdom Hearts, GBA for Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, PS2 for Kingdom Hearts 2, PSP for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, DS Kingdom Hearts 358 by over 2 days, DS Kingdom Hearts Coded, 3DS Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Now you can just have it all on one collection. I highly recommend checking it because it's one of my favorite game series of all time. It's stupid, yes, but where else will you see Cloud and Hades in the same room? It's a fun button masher game with a very stupid story, kind of like Metal Gear Solid. Also, I beat Breath of the Wild, needed to move on and play something else.
Yeah, I've hit a little bit of a wall. I've been too excited about other stuff. So I need to get moving on the Breath of the Wild too.
I really wish they made a sequel to Splatterhouse. I was one of the few reviewers that absolutely praised the game, while everyone else seemed to hate it. Review copy, what? Unfortunately, at the time, everyone said it was a God of War clone, but I saw it as a hack and slash game, which is what God of War is. I guess a lot of young ducklings didn't even know what a Splatterhouse was. I did because I rented the game from Blockbuster on the Genesis as a fat pink boy and returned it because it legitimately scared the hell out of me.
Okay, I got to step in, and sorry to derail, but have you guys talked or seen about the new Friday the 13th game?
A little bit, yeah. How you play as Freddy and then other people are the counselors.
I was watching the video before coming on. It seems like it would be awesome for me. I think it would be so much fun. I was just wondering if you guys heard anything new about that. And Splatterhouse reminded me of that.
I don't remember us... we were excited and then found out it was multiplayer only.
Yeah.
That style. We're like, but...
I don't know, it looks sweet, but I digress.
If we have enough... Like, if we could get games together with friends consistently, I'm sure we would play it.
Yeah.
But we had pretty low expectations at this point.
Okay.
Let's see. Fat Pink Boy. Go look at the intro sequence. Play it live. He added a sequence to, or a link to the beginning sequence. Fucking terrifying even to this day. Glad Dustin is enjoying it. Plus, you can see nudes of his girlfriend in the game. Rick's girlfriend, not Dustin. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is also in my top 3 MCU movies, and because no one asked me, number 1, Civil War, number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, number 3, The Avengers.
Wow.
Read Infinity Gauntlet to get a good idea of where the story is going. It's a good read. I've also been...
Oh, Mark, you've been corrected. Jason, not Freddy. Just with the mask and stuff.
Sorry.
But I think you were thinking of horror. You're like, oh, cheesy horror.
I've also been reading Console Wars, and Seth Rogen sounds like an idiot in the foreword. The book is pretty badly written, and I do not recommend it. I'm too far into stop now, but regret every page turn. I heard great things about it from other gamers, but maybe it's just me. Question of the week: what's a good gaming book that you read/recommend? Doesn't have to be a story. It could be something like Hyrule Historia or something. Yeah. Anyways, happy anniversary. Keep up the good work, Kevin.
Mark, what do you think? Any gaming-related books?
Oh, man. Nothing's really coming to mind at the moment.
I've got 3.
Okay.
Pat Contry's Guide to the NES Collection, that coffee table book I have.
Yeah.
Hyrule Historia, which he had mentioned. Definitely get that. It's relatively cheap and gorgeous. And I think an obvious one would be Ready Player One, the book by Ernie Klein.
Yeah.
It's a very quick, easy read. It's light. It's silly. But I really enjoyed that book.
I just picked that up, and in the book club that I'm in, that's going to be our next one. So I'm really stoked.
I think
to
you'll
read
like
that.
it.
Yes.
You'll read it in like 2 days, too. It's like 300 pages, but people wouldn't even need cheater glasses to read it.
Yeah, no.
It's like big, you're learning phonics font.
I
hated that phonics. I don't know, Dustin, anything coming to mind for you?
I would also say Ready Player One. I would recommend, probably a decade ago, it was Everything Bad is Good for You, where it talks about multiple things, but it talks about how video games are good for you, and they actually help you improve like hand-eye coordination and visual memory.
Sounds kind of familiar.
And Hugh's book from Retro League, My Loser Years.
Yes, My Loser Years is great.
It's on Amazon. It's like 99 cents.
Yeah, there's no reason not to read that, especially if you've ever had to work retail too.
Yeah.
It's really funny,
Yeah.
but the fact he worked video game retail or, computer retail is awesome. And then he went to get his degree, and now he's a big-time coder at a really big company,
he lives in
which is good for him.
Ferris Bueller's Neighborhood.
He does. Chicago. I don't even know if they sound like that, but I know Chicago people have an accent. Like I do. I remember I was on One More Podcastle, and someone in the chat's like, you have a really thick Ohio accent.
Whoa.
Wow. That's incredible. I was taken back. Like, I think I'd sound Midwest,
Yeah.
but it could be one of like 10 states.
I think you lack an accent of anything.
Hey, but I guess that's my accent.
Yeah.
He knew Ohio. That blew me away. Because even in Ohio, there's gradients. Like when you get to Southern Ohio, they start to have a draw, like you would see in Kentucky style draw. Not like Texas or Alabama or anything, but like I don't know. The Kentucky one stands out to me. And you get it into Northeast Ohio, and they start using weird twists on words like yins and yous, and just like even in Ohio it's different. So it was pretty amazing. I thank you for saying I have a lack of an accent.
Yeah,
I sound like the news.
yeah.
Right. Where I went to school at a really big journalism school. Maybe that's why.
There you have it.
So, good question, Kevin, and thank you very much for being a friend for all of these years.
You have to appeal to the broadest possible audience.
Yes. My problem is I mumble anyways and still say totally incorrect words.
I have the same habit.
I meant to say metabolism, and I said immune. It was way off. One time I was scrubbing for an episode title, and I said Outlook instead of Overwatch. Like Microsoft Outlook. Why? Why did I get that wrong? I don't know.
The best is Ricky from Trailer Park Boys when he just blatantly says the wrong thing.
His grandson.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. Well, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up comments. Were you going to say something, Dustin?
Oh, no.
Okay. Where's Annie's comment? Annie wrote to us.
He responded to...
There it is.
Oh, no.
He also had... So last week, the 4th grade episode, thanks again, Zarek, for sending everybody over. Andy says, great show, guys. I really need to make time for the live broadcast. That'd be great. He says, PS Plus games, they were good this month. The big problem, when they tend to finally drop the good games, I already own them. That is... But it should alleviate your anxiety, because... they tend to come out eventually, and you can usually pick, I don't know, like if you can wait for Tales of the Borderlands. You know, I waited for Abzu, and I'm glad that I did, but they were highly regarded games, so maybe you don't have to feel like you buy all of them, but Horizon Zero Dawn, I was okay paying full price for that. That's never coming to PS Plus. Maybe when it's the PS5. Good deal. And then we got some great stuff from our friend Demez. He mentioned Vanquish, and then also he says, my brother had a huge collection of Hot Wheels in boxes and all sorts of stuff that were unopened. He says, how much do you think they were worth on average? He bought them in the mid-90s until in the 2000s. So he spent a lot of time... Wow. Getting those, I don't know, thousands. I don't know. There's a really big market for Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars.
If I'm actually looking for, I'm a big Jaws collector. So there is a Jaws bus, like a tour bus thing that came out I think it's Matchbox. Like I have the boat one, but I don't have this tour bus of Jaws, and it's like $75 everywhere I look. So if you guys find a decent deal on it, let me know.
He's in Canada, so who knows?
Right.
I don't understand what their currency is right now. And then he comments, he says, War Dogs was a brilliant movie, so I definitely need to get around to watching that. That was one my friend Brandy had recommended. He also says, one time I cocked a shotgun while it was facing a homie of mine. He freaked out and told me that particular shotgun had actually fired when cocked now and then. So it had went off on accident. Dumbass.
Come on, man. I know you're Canadian, but come on.
But come on.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny. And then also, Dumbass says Luke Morse 1 and Pete Dorr. I've also had or from Towns Marty.
Yeah, FM Towns Marty. I mentioned it when I was talking about Splatterhouse last week.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Pete may have sold it. He says, yeah, Pete was a really big deal on YouTube, and then I don't know what he does anymore. Does he still do YouTube? I know he's going to school and stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen a Pete Dorr recommended video in a long time.
To the internets.
Yes, I guess we'll clearly I'm not a subscriber. Dumez says, hey dudes, that topic suggestion of religion and politics was a joke. He was just trolling us. He says, I did not think you'd actually read it on air. A totally insane thing to talk about on the internet. Well, hey Dumez, sometimes you say ridiculous stuff, sometimes you have excellent points. So I just read it and will stop myself halfway through if I don't like it. Yeah, he's used some really crude stuff, and I'm like, I can't say half these words. So moving on.
I heard that last one, and I was like, is he really going to answer that?
I would love to. It just wouldn't fit a video game podcast. Right. I love talking about that stuff, but it's not fair to subject people to that when they're here to listen to video game stuff, you know. yeah. I love, philosophy and politics and religion's fun to talk about. So, alrighty. Well, I think that's going to be it for the episode. So,
Pete Door update. He did an impressions video on the Switch console reveal.
okay, so what's
ago.
that, 6 months ago? Yes, that's 7, okay.
Still over 100,000 subscribers, 113,252.
Dustin, I think we're on a brink of another YouTube purge.
Yeah.
Because we're getting closer and closer to 10,000.
Yeah.
And last time we got this close, YouTube was like...
snatched it away from us.
You're down 300. We've been growing a little faster than normal, so that's why I'm expecting a...
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. But maybe not. Maybe we'll get over 10,000. It'll be great, and things will be fun. So, all right. Well, hey, Mark, thanks for coming on, man. It was a lot of fun to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It was great.
That was a lot of fun. I'm glad that I was able to join you guys. This is awesome.
Awesome. Great. So, anything else you wanted to add? Do you need a final word on anything?
Oh, man, no.
Okay.
I mean, I could open up a rabbit hole and talk about Resident Evil 2, but we'll save that for some other time.
Next time. That game's not going anywhere, so... All right, well, I guess as far as YouTube and all that kind of fun stuff, our streaming schedule, Mondays or Thursdays, Tony's going to be doing some stuff again. He got married, or not married, had an anniversary from his marriage, and work and all that kind of stuff. Tuesdays, I tend to stream old retro games. It had been NES games, but with the open source, the OSSC, I kept calling it the OSCC. OSSC.
I feel like that's a branch of the government.
No, it's all screwy. But I will be playing Genesis, NES, or Super Nintendo games. That also means Game Boy games. I'm going to play Game Boy, I think, next week.
Sweet.
'Cause I have the Super whatever for the Nintendo. Fridays, we publish a podcast. Wednesday nights around 8 p.m. Eastern, we record the podcast live. So if you'd like to join chat, youtube.com/classicelite/live. You can join our chat and ask us questions and participate. It's always a lot of fun to have people ask questions and interact. And then over the weekend, usually Saturdays, Dustin plays Cyberpunk games.
Nice.
So keep an eye out for that. And then also Dustin's fitting in the 10 years of Happy Video Game Nerd videos, which, what a great series. What a way to pay homage. Like, you've made me buy all these games. Here's my thoughts.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. So, also, I want to thank Ben Landis very much for letting us use his song Through the Forest as our intro music. If you'd like the audio podcast, you can get our RSS feed at our website, classicleet.com. That's classic L337. If you'd like to leave us any feedback, you can do that under the YouTube video of the archive that's posted on Fridays, or you can send us an email. That's classicleet@gmail.com. If you use iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud, all that stuff, you can search for Classic Elite and you'll find us at all those respective places. Hey, Zarek, thank you very much for hanging out, dude. I really appreciate it. Good to see you as always. And congratulations on your channel continuing to blow up, man.
Yeah, man.
Very well deserved. On Twitter, or on social media, we do Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook the most. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And, we'll have Amazon affiliate links in the description. And, check all that out. This week, Dustin, I've got Hello World is back. They released another album.
All right.
Their first two are absolutely incredible. This is the third track. It is called C14H9 CI5. And if you look at the album or the track names on the album, they're all related to major events that humans have caused. Whether, like Reactor 4 is the name of the first two tracks. Part 1 and Part 2. Reactor 4 was Chernobyl.
Okay.
Deepwater Horizons, the 7th track, which Mark is the one that has a DJ Shadow remix. Deepwater Horizon is the BP oil spill from, I guess almost 10 years ago now. They've got the Bhopal disaster in India that killed thousands of people by leaking gas. But it's interesting. Agent Orange is the name of a track. And it's when I first listened to it, I wasn't paying attention to that, but I thought that it sounded big for chiptune music, just a big sound. And they clearly had a lot of emotion put into not only the songs that they were making, but had some sort of a clear vision. And the album's title is 2182 kilohertz. And that is the worldwide frequency that is used for distress signals.
Cool.
So it's
That's
all
brilliant.
sorts of... I went down this little tiny rabbit hole on accident, getting the show notes together. And I'm like, so many levels of this I absolutely love, aside from just enjoying the music. So, good deal. So, this song again is called C14H9CI5 from the album 2182 kilohertz. And again, the band is Hello World. And that's going to be it. Again, Mark, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you.
And that's it for episode 232. We'll see you next week for episode 233.
Boosh.